Hello, everyone. Welcome to Mentor Monday. Mentor Monday is your weekly microdose of encouragement, inspiration, and miracle grow on your potential as a coach. What we always love to do is we love to connect with you, and we do that as best we can whenever you put something in the chat widget. So do us a huge favor. Go ahead and jump in the chat widget, whether you're on YouTube or if you're on Instagram or if you're on Facebook. Go ahead and jump in the chat widget right now. Tell us where you're joining us from and what you're excited about today, what you feel life and momentum on. We want to interact with you. So if you just jump in there. Also, just a huge favor. We do everything that we can to invest, serve coaches all over the world. And our Mondays are always another way that we serve you, and we want to do everything that we can. That's what we always do, is when we have coaches who have specific questions or challenges or whatever, like this week ended up being an inspiration for today. And so what we would love to do is if you would interact with us, or you can hit the like button on this post, or you can share it. That tells Facebook, it tells Instagram, it also tells YouTube that we're doing a good job. So let me say hello to a few people. There's Xavier joining us from San Diego. Welcome, Xavier. And there's Albert, who is joining us from Greater Washington. Welcome. Robin is in the house from New York. Good to see you as well, Albert. Thank you. Just as you're making it into the room, just say hello to us. Tell us where you are, where you're joining us from. I'm going to try something different. Let's look at this little chat overlay. You know what we love to do with the chat overlay? Also allowing you guys to actually be on the action, even if I don't click the button. Rachel is joining us from Baxley, Georgia, planning to do your July training in the process of completing your free class. That is so good. And Rachel's referring to our boot camp that is coming up. I can't pronounce your name. Is it Guyla? Is it Guyla? Is that how you pronounce your name? From Wyoming. Welcome. Anybody else that would like to say hello to us? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to turn the chat overlay off for the moment, and we will come back. And so the inspiration for this week's Mentor Monday actually came from last Wednesday's group coaching call that was part of our Jumpstart program. And Illumina asked this question, and I realized that this is something that I'm passionate about and I have an answer for when she asked me, I'm trying to get testimonials right now, but I'm also a brand new coach. How do you go about that? And you know what? It dawned on me that I've never actually talked about this before. But for those of you who were a part of our branding workshop that we did a couple of weeks ago, one of the things that you'll learn from me is that everything that we do has to have a purpose. Anything that we're doing in our branding and our messaging on our websites and our social media, it really, really helps us if we specialize and we dial in, and we also speak to who our ideal client is. And so one of the encouragements that I always have for our coaches is to make sure that you're doing your homework on your ideal client, because everything that you are doing should be focused towards them. Like literally, last night, I had an aspiring coach ask me about their About Me page. And I was like, well, let me make a correction on that. Your About Me page is not really an About Me page. It's, as far as a coach, it's written in context of your client. So that even in your About Me page, your About Us page should be written. And when your ideal client reads it, they should see themselves. You should be showing yourself as relatable, connecting your story towards theirs. And so everything that we are doing on our website and in our social media has to have a purpose, and it should be connecting us to our ideal client, and it should be something that our ideal client should actually be interested in. And testimonials are part of our whole game that our whole marketing game, everything that we're doing to increase our trust, increase our likability, increase the level of expertise. When someone sees what we're offering and what we're talking about, they should go on there, and we don't have to talk them into being interested in what we're doing and what we're offering. They should see on the page very plain that this page is for me, and they're connecting what they're talking about with me. You know, they're connecting their business with what I actually want as an ideal client. And so testimonials are a part of that, this whole thing of social proof, which is really important. And there's a number of different ways that you can offer social proof. Testimonials is one of those things that we can do. And the testimonial has to be written in the context of your ideal client as well. And so what I want to give you is a couple of ways really quick off the front end of how you can get a testimonial, but I'm also going to show you 5 ways to bring your testimonials to the next level, because obviously you want them to serve a purpose. And if the purpose that it's going to be serving is it should bring that ideal client into a closer relationship with you, seeing you through the eyes of trust, seeing you through the eyes of likability, seeing you through the eyes of this individual probably has a solution for me. And it should encourage them that they're obviously in the right place if they've been on your page for any length of time. So without any further delay, let's talk about what those things are. I want you to think of social proof. When I use that word, just something that influences others to simply trust you, like you, and recognize your ability to solve their problem. Everything in the realm of social proof should be doing that. And when you write a testimonial, when you have a testimonial that you post on your page from someone, then that should be the way that it's written. It should be written with this purpose in mind. And here's what I would say. How can you get a testimonial? And you need testimonials even if you are a brand new coach. I understand that you're like, I'm a brand new coach. I haven't worked with a whole lot of people, or I've worked with nobody. How am I going to put that on my page or whatever? Well, the reality is that none of you are brand new to this world, right? You all have a track record of success and relationships and different kinds of things. Now, what I would say about that is, number one, is that you can get a testimonial from any long-term personal or professional relationship. Not every testimonial has to be written in the context of someone being a client of yours. Now, how does this work with regard to social proof? Well, what it's saying about you is, like, if somebody writes a testimonial and they're simply writing it based on your character, dependability, trust, good listener, great communicator, likable person, fun person to be around. There's all of these things. What are we looking for? Is that we're looking for relevant characteristics about ourselves that would actually connect with our ideal client. And all of those things matter. Who you are on a personal level actually matters to people. Who you are also on a professional level matters to people. And when I have a testimonial from someone who's known me for 10 years, 20 years, that says a lot. What does it say to you when somebody's been in the same relationship for 10 or 20 years? It's talking about stability, richness of relationship. This isn't a person who's just in and out of relationships. They're not, bouncing around to everybody, from one relationship to another. And this is somebody who they've stayed the test of time in a relationship. And that kind of endurance, whether that be professional or personal, or someone has known you professionally for the last 15 years or whatever, being able to construct a testimonial that's based on character and also even the duration of the length of relationship really says a lot about you. And it's something tangible that can really hold weight with somebody who's reading the testimonial. Here's the second thing, because obviously we can, like I said, we can borrow off of the relationships that we have, that equity. Well, the second thing is that you can exchange your practice coaching sessions for testimonials. Now, some of you, I know you're already doing practice sessions. You're already doing complimentary sessions. I would do nothing for free if it did not involve an exchange. People who are experiencing even a practice session with you, even a, whatever you want to call it, a practice session, a discovery session, you just want to get some coaching under your belt to see if your skills are there, if somebody can see the benefit of it and everything else. And so what I always encourage coaches to do is I usually tell them to ask for 2 things, not just a testimonial, but what I'd say is, hey, I'm going to give you a powerful experience of coaching. If it was impacting, if you found that it was helpful, if you can see the value in it, here's what I would like you to do. I would like you to, as an exchange, just to write a testimonial. Just a few sentences about how this impacted you. Now, here's the other thing that I'll say. I don't have this in all of the details here, but what you really have to do is, when someone is writing a testimonial for you, you need to actually give them the structure that you want them to write it for you. Like, some people will write testimonials and they're completely unusable, and they're kind and they're nice, but it's not going to get you any traction with any potential clients that are out there, because they're like, oh, so-and-so, they're a great person. I really like them. I really enjoyed the session. Oh, it was so insightful. It was fun, or whatever. And it's just not enough information. It's not tangible. So to make it tangible, then it means that there are aspects of that testimonial that we need that individual to hit, right? And so 2 quick things from these to make sure that we get it, especially if any of you showed up late. How can you get a testimonial? First of all, get one from a personal or professional relationship of someone who knows you. Doesn't mean that they have to have known you for 10 or 20 years, but that can be part of the testimonial, is that they've known you, they've experienced you, they've connected with you, they've benefited from your life. They see you as a valuable person, personally or professionally, and any of those characteristics that are relevant to coaching that they have seen in you, then you can have somebody write it, because character matters. That someone has been in a long-term relationship with you actually matters. And you know what? When somebody comes on your page and they see the endurance of a relationship, then they can borrow off of that value that person sees. It's equity that's actually shared. The second thing that I'm saying here is, make sure that you're actually exchanging. If you're doing any complimentary sessions, if you're doing any practice sessions even, make sure that that's a part of the deal. Exchange testimonial. Also, ask them for 2 referrals. Hey, do you know anybody? Can you give me the names of 2 people who could really benefit from this right now? Those are 2 things that I would actually ask for in exchange, a testimonial and that. Now, let me give you the structure, because like I said, is that for both of these individuals, whether it's the personal professional testimonial, or it's a person who's experienced your coaching, there's certain things that we want to ask them to actually put inside of the testimonial to make sure that it is a power hitter. Like, we want testimonials that completely knock the ball out of the park, not exaggerated kinds of things. But if you hit these 5 things, or I would say a combination of these 5 things, because here's the deal. What I'm about to show you, you're probably only going to be able to do 2 or 3 max. But if you can get all 5 over the course of all of your testimonials, because you'll have multiple on your page, then you're going to absolutely crush it. And it's going to help somebody make a decision. It's going to help somebody actually get really informed and comfortable with who you are. And again, what are we going for? We want them to trust you. We want them to like you. And we want them to see a certain level of expertise in your coaching. So here's the first thing. First thing is that testimonials do not need to be long. They should be short. You have to understand that when people are reading, when they're reading a web page or they're reading social media, they're simply scanning. If you look at most news articles that are written, unless they are journals or something like that, when people are writing news articles, they are, for one, it's written for someone who's on an 8th grade level maximum, something like that, 6th to 8th grade. And you can see that it is split up, and it's kind of, you usually don't see anything more than just a few sentences at a time. They're not all blocked together. They're kind of spaced out, because that's the way people's eyeballs, when they're looking at a screen, they bounce around and they go down to things. It's not going to be helpful. Even though it's going to be a great testimonial that sometimes you'll get from someone, you're not going to put 10 paragraphs in there, even if somebody wrote it. Now, what you can do is that you can take a few sentences out of that and focus on a particular area, but you might reuse that testimonial and focus on 3 sentences from another part of it. So even if it's an amazing testimonial, just don't try to block it altogether, because no one reads all of those things. Think of an Amazon.com review or a product review. There are definitely some products that are incredibly technical, and there's some specific things. But here's the thing, is that I've been researching some stuff for a particular product over the past week, and I do the same thing that all of you do when you look at products. There are certain questions that you have in your mind about a particular product. This is how we have to have an individual write it. What are they saying about this feature? What are they saying about this benefit? What are they saying about this thing that I really value? They already have the questions in mind before they read the testimonial. So we're writing the testimonial with these things in mind. First thing is keeping it short. Second thing is really this, is that they should feature a common obstacle or pain point. This is marketing and branding 101. When I did the workshop the other day, and granted, you guys can still get access to it if you go on our website, you can still get the replays of all that. I go into great detail about the fact that we should be associated with a certain problem, solving a certain problem. And so what we can do is that when we have someone writing the testimonial, we can have them write it about a common pain point, a common problem that they were coming to us to try to get a solution for. Again, just a few sentences about what that is. Why is that important? Because if your ideal client's on the page and we're talking about what we help people, like we've chosen a niche, we help people get a certain solution in their life, then what's going to help them, what's going to back up that story is a testimonial of someone who's had a common problem, a common pain point that to this particular niche, and they're like, oh, this person actually solves this. I get it. And they can basically put themselves in those shoes and it relates to them. Here's the next thing. Number 3 is they should feature a common desire. What is it that your ideal client wants? So the testimonial might be written. Let me grab someone's name. I'll just grab Bill. I came to Bill looking for some solutions for a business that I wanted to start up. There we go. There's the problem right there. Or maybe, maybe what they say, because again, we're talking about something that they desire. For my entire life, I've been wanting to start my own business, but I had absolutely no idea where to start. And then I found Bill. Bam, there we go. Now that quickly in one sentence, we're actually expressing what the desire really is. Might be personal development goals, might be professional goals. The more specific that we can get, the more that it is going to be effective for the people who are reading. Again, we're writing the testimonials, not for you. We're writing the testimonials for your ideal client. They should be written with those people in mind. Here's number 4. Fourth thing is that they should feature a before and after. I remember when I came to Giovanni and I was all stressed out about blank. And with her demeanor, that one experience, I just walked away with such an incredible sense of peace and hope. And I felt like I had control of my life all over again. Isn't that amazing? What did we get? Stressed out. And we leave with peace and control. What are we talking about? Before and after. And again, the before and after is written in context of what does your ideal client actually want? What state of being are they in right now? And what state of being do they hope to be in after they actually experience your coaching, right? That was number 4. Number 5 is this. Oh, I'm being so efficient tonight. Number 5 is it should answer, that testimonial should answer a common question or a common objection. This person, and this is what I think about that question. Now, obviously, people come on there with a question of solutions, wanting something, having a problem, all of those other kinds of things. I'm phrasing this as that they have a common question or objection. See, the reality is that there's a reason why people have not purchased something, have not committed to something that they say that they want. There's an objection that's going on. And there's often an internal objection that this individual has. Sometimes there's an external objection that's showing up. But basically with any product or service that is bought, I don't care what you bought. What you always have to do, especially when it's something that you don't have an experience with before, you have to think through the objections. Like with any one of you, let's say that you were standing in the aisle of Walmart and you were looking at the back of a product and you were reading stuff, and then you were looking at prices and you were looking at the other products that were around it. If you don't have a common experience with it, like you're not buying the same laundry, because like if there's a laundry detergent that you like, you might buy it every week or every month whenever you have to buy it. But when it's something new, what are you going to do? You're trying to figure out, you're looking at price, you're looking at ingredients, you're looking at all these details of the product, and what has to happen before you buy it, or you won't buy it. If you don't buy it, it hasn't overcome your internal objection. There's something that doesn't feel right, that I don't see the value in it yet. There's some kind of a question that's in your mind that was not, you don't have peace that question's actually been answered. And so what'll happen is you'll put the product back on the shelf, won't you? Or you will look at the products and you will decide on one, and you'll walk away with it. All it needed to do is to answer and overcome whatever your strongest objection is. So again, this takes doing some homework on your ideal client. Is what is the thing that's actually keeping them from moving forward in their life? Is it self-doubt? Because a lot of it has to do with themselves. Self-doubt. Is it fear? Going back to our example a while ago, like Bill, if somebody comes to Bill and they've been wanting to start a business for a lot of years. There's a reason why they haven't started. And it could be in the testimonial that all of a sudden they started working with Bill and then they started their business. Now, how would that testimonial look? For years, I have been wanting to start my own business, but I was so afraid because I thought the process was going to be so hard. And then I met Bill. And not only did he put me at peace and give me a lot of confidence that I could actually do this, but he made the steps so clear for me that I knew exactly what my next step was going to be to do this thing. There we go. There's a testimonial that quickly. It really encompassed a lot of different things. It's talking about a problem. It's talking about a desire. But in this particular instance, it's the objection of why they didn't start before is that it felt really complicated and very overwhelmed. And when Bill takes away the complication and the feeling of overwhelm, now they can make a decision. And there's a lot of people, if you know what it is, it's actually the conflict, the inner conflict that's going on in someone, then you can solve what the objection is and allow your testimonials to do that work for you. Boy, I was really super efficient tonight. I'm so proud of myself. I don't know. Sorry about that. I'm actually proud that I got through this stuff really quickly. Let me pay the bills really quickly, and I'm going to take any questions that you guys have. For those of you who have never gotten trained and certified as a coach, maybe I'm going to help you solve your inner conflict tonight. I know what the inner conflict is for a lot of coaches starting out. One of them is it's finances. It's just literally a financial thing that it's like, wow, that's just a lot of risk to spend thousands of dollars and not have any guarantees. Well, what we did is that we created our program to be fully online and on demand and self-paced. So what that means is that from the time commitment that most of you struggle with because you're working full time, a lot of you have families, you have a lot of different things that are going on. What we have done is that we have created a program that has open enrollment where you can get enrolled in about 90 seconds. You can begin your training whenever you want from the comfort of your own home. And we've been doing this for a lot of years. We were pioneers in online education for coaches. When no one else was doing it, we actually took the ball and we ran with it and became the largest life coach training program in North America. And so we've created a program that you can get enrolled today and begin working on your certification, even in the next few minutes, like literally 90 seconds. The price is only $195 for a life coach certification course. And included in that is your certificate, your credential, the exam, as well as a free listing on lifecoachmatch.com. That's normally $75 a year. And also the cool thing about our credential is that you can actually integrate it into your website and across all of your social media and share it in that kind of way, or on LinkedIn. It's a great tool that we offer at no additional charge. Now, we also have a Jumpstart business development program, because I know some of you have never started businesses before, and you probably, maybe that's the sticking point, is that maybe you can get certified and trained, but how do you get clients? Well, that's why we designed Jumpstart. I was one of those coaches that when I got trained and certified, they waved at me from the door and I walked away with the certificate, and I'm like, I have no idea how to get a client. And I had to start from scratch and figure it out. And so what we did is I thought through all of those steps, and all of the fears and all of the things, all the tools that I wish I would have had back then, and basically put those tools together in an A to Z format, where you literally get a business development roadmap to show you, how do you discover your niche? How do you discover your target market? How do you price yourself? How do you set fees? How do you have an explosive first coaching session that demonstrates that you can actually help people? All of these different tools that we rolled together in Jumpstart. Now, these are not two different programs that you have to purchase. If you get Jumpstart, you get the Life Coach Certification course. You get our boot camp, which we run every 6 weeks, which is a live weekend. It builds upon what you've already learned in the Life Coach training course, Life Coach Certification course. We go way beyond that and do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday intensive. We also have monthly workshops as well. This past month we had Brand Camp. If you were part of Jumpstart, you would have gotten that thing for free instead of paying $77 for it. And so all of these things, because what we are gearing all this towards is not just you learning how to coach. I know that's what most schools try to do out there, whether it be a college, university, or a coach training school. We believe in the mandate of coaches, that it is a moral imperative for you. If you're called to be a coach, you need to get past all the excuses, and we want to make it as easy as we can. I'm going to take every one of your excuses and objections away. There's no reason for you not to start. Even if somebody says, well, I don't have a whole lot of money. Well, we've made it as affordable as we possibly can to take every excuse out of the way, to put you in the driver's seat, to not only have coaching proficiency, but we want to see you just crush it in your business. I think every day about our coaches. I'm always thinking of what's a new way that we can make this easier. How can I remove obstacles out of the way? I think about that every day. I say prayers about it every day, that I want to be a person of wisdom and I want to serve our coaches as best we can. And so Jumpstart sounds like a lot of money, $97 a month with a 3-month minimum commitment. It's the cost of Starbucks. Starbucks, $3.25 a day. And you can not only get trained and certified, you can get all the business development help. Not only do you get the tools and the roadmap, I do a live call every Wednesday with the students who are part of Jumpstart. And we also have an online community, so you can connect with other aspiring coaches. You can role play with other coaches. You can also get feedback on anything that you're working on. Everything that we do to serve you and make sure that there are no gaps in your learning, that I know what it feels like to start, but you don't have to do it alone. All right, let me look over here at our comments over here. Let's see. Marsha's joining us from Trinidad. Welcome, Marsha. Rachel says, every time I've heard you speak, it convinces me to go all in for this as something that I could succeed at. So you are efficient. And you can do this. This is starting a coaching practice. It really is. And I've helped a lot of people start businesses as an executive and leadership coach. I've helped a lot of people start businesses. And by far, a coaching practice is one of the easiest businesses to start, because you don't need an office. You don't need a lot to get started up. There's not a whole lot of overhead and everything. So on that end, in terms of business development and overhead, you should be bringing home about 95% of what you make. And most businesses would love to have those kinds of margins. Most people who, and I would say that the average coach in the United States is making about $60,000 a year, only working between 10 to 13 hours a week. So, and that's on the low end. So you're talking about a person who's making $60,000 a year, but they're basically only working one full-time week in an entire month. And so if you want to work more than that, then you can. I'm just giving you what the averages are out there. And so it really is doable. And thankfully, our coaches are more successful and make more money than the average first-year coaches because we give them the business development training to be able to really succeed. And so I say all that, but not to blow smoke. It's just actual data that's out there from all of the studies and surveys and everything that's done that that you can absolutely do this. And we want to walk alongside you to help you do that. Let's see. There's Queen joining us from Indiana. Welcome. Let's see. Who else do I need to say hello to? Giovanni from Dallas. Welcome. There's Angel from Maryland. Welcome, Angel. And that's Bill from Arlington. Oh, and I did get that name right. Very cool. Would anybody else like to say hello before we head out? Or do you have any questions about anything coaching? Obviously, if it's connected to today's topic, more than happy to answer any questions. But listen, this is great, ready to go information that you guys can implement immediately. I know what it's like to start out as a coach, and I know what it's like to start out with all those questions, but you can go with qualified, amazing testimonials that'll actually be really effective, as opposed to generic testimonials that some people post on their websites. Let's see, who else do I need to say hello to? Purple from Virginia, welcome. And from India. I'm not going to try on your first name, but Khan Advocate from India, welcome. Let's see, what does Rachel say? Boot camp is good for a beginner and includes certification, right? Yes. So when you enroll in boot camp, or if you enroll in Jumpstart, you get boot camp. But if you enroll in boot camp, you get immediate access to the life coach certification course, the exam, the certificate, everything that's related to the life coach certification course is in there. Boot camp. Now, here's what a lot of people do when they do boot camp. They don't bother with the life coach certification course. They're like, hey, I'm going to start on Friday and I'm going to take my exam by Sunday night, and Monday morning, I'm going to wake up a certified coach. So all of you have that ability as well. Like, if you just want to not worry about anything and join that Friday night, it's going to be intensive, but it's a lot of fun. You're going to watch people role play. For those of you who are interested specifically in the boot camp, it's only $247 and we also have payment plans for that as well. Like, we actually have payment plans for all of this stuff. So if you go on our website, there's actually a link inside the description. You can get over to our website and you can look at all of our programs and find out what makes the most sense for you. Awesome. Anita joining us from Minnesota. Thank you for sharing some great information. You are welcome. Thanks for spending your Monday night with me. All right. Any other questions before we head out? I'll give it about 15 more seconds. I know that you guys are about 30 seconds behind me, so I might pause for a second and be quiet while we wait. Any other questions? Oh, and let me answer the rest of that question. Boot camp is great for a beginner because if you know nothing about coaching, you're going to know so much about coaching after that first session. You're going to be like, okay, I get it. I completely understand what coaching is, and now I'm ready to dive into this. Oh, Diane says, can you ask referral person to take a call from a potential client? Would you, I don't quite understand the question. Can you ask referral person to take a call from a potential client? I don't understand that question. If you can rephrase it, I'm more than happy to answer it for you. And I'll give you a second to respond to that, Diane. Diane. All right, Diane. I'll give it a few more seconds. If you're able to punch in that rephrase question, I'm more than happy. And if we have to cut off, and we are going to have to in just a few seconds, if you don't get it in, you can always post it in the comments later or just send a message on Facebook, and we're happy to answer it for you. All right, we're going to give it about 10 more seconds. When buying house windows, the salesman stated, call this person, we did their windows. Well, here's the thing. When it comes to testimonials and anything that we do, like, first of all, obviously, if somebody gives us a testimonial, they're giving us permission to share that. It does not necessarily mean that they've given us permission to have someone call them. I think the testimonial in and of itself, especially if you can get a picture, or if you guys can manage to get a video testimonial, I think it stands on itself. I've never, and never would I, ask anyone to take a call because somebody was following up on something. I think the testimonial can stand for itself. And I would probably be concerned if I had people calling, and I say concerned, not from what they would find out about me. I'm concerned about someone who is calling, because what that would state to me is that I haven't earned enough trust in the relationship. So, yeah. So if somebody was like, I need to have 3 of your past clients so that I can call them, I'm probably going to be like, oh, this person's kind of like this is a little bit sketchy to me here. And I'm probably thinking at that point, I haven't earned enough trust, or maybe they're going to be a difficult client, would be probably what I would think. Different kind of deal altogether when we are selling. This is the one thing that I would say. When we are selling products like windows, if we were doing that, it's a little bit different when somebody is calling and they're not only finding out about the service, but they're finding out about the durability of a product or something like that. And a lot of times when it comes to buying windows or buying a product, there's not a whole lot of relationship involved there. Most products people are buying and they don't have a relationship with that individual. There's just a certain degree of trust, but they're buying the product, right? Even though they're buying from the person, and there needs to be trust and likability and all those things, but they're essentially buying the product. When it comes to coaching, they are buying us and the service. So it literally is like, they are literally like, you can't separate us from the service. So that's why I'm saying that if somebody's like trying to call someone, that it's like, oh, they don't believe in me yet. They don't actually trust me. We haven't hit that relational dynamic. And so that's why I'd be kind of like, if somebody's wanting to like call behind me or whatever, after they've met me and after I've gone through consultation, and if they've had a coaching session with me, like let's say I gave them a complimentary coaching session, and then they're asking for that, I'd be kind of like, that's some red flags for me as far as that's concerned. All right. All right. You are welcome. All right. Quick answer to this one. How to convert a lead into a client. It's all relationship. A coaching relationship is born on 2 sides. On the client side, first of all, a coaching relationship is born when they have a desire and they're willing, or they have a pain point that they want to solve, and they're willing to actually do something about it. So they have to get to a critical level and actually want to do something about it. So that's on the client side. And there might be some things that we can do along the way to encourage them. But at a certain point, a client just finally has to get to their end and want to do something about it. On the coach's side, it's all about trust and likability and showing a certain level of expertise that I can help somebody get their solution. So coaching relationship is born on the day that the trust, likability, and expertise that they see in you has hit a certain level, has hit a threshold. And it's also the threshold of when they're actually ready to commit to doing something about it. So both of those things have to happen. A coaching relationship is born in the moment when both of those things are there. So let's say that somebody was really ready. I've got to do something about this, but they don't trust the individual who's in front of them, or they don't believe that they have a solution for them. Coaching relationship can't happen then. Or let's say they really like you, Con. They really like you. They trust you. They believe that you can help them, but they are at this level where they're kind of like, I'm just really not ready to commit yet. So a coaching relationship can't be born yet there. So what do we do as coaches? Well, we do everything that we can to serve and build a relationship with people. So when they are ready, then we're the person that they call. How do we do that? We do it through everything that we're doing. Like I would say that, even for example, I'm doing a Facebook Live tonight, communicating with a lot of people that I've never met before, and people are also watching who are not saying anything right now, and they haven't become coaches yet. So since they haven't gotten trained and certified as a coach, what that tells me is that either the commitment level, wanting whatever they want in their life, it hasn't gotten to that threshold yet, or they simply haven't found a program or an individual who they believe can actually help them. Trust and likability has not built up enough where they actually are like, oh, I could actually learn from this individual and I connect with them or whatever. Because I'm not for everybody, right? So what are we saying in this? Is that when I go live on Facebook, or I send an email to someone, or I send a tip or a tool or something like that, all of that is, first of all, with the desire to serve people and build relationships. That's my end goal. I'm going to serve this person. I'm going to add value to them. And the day that they are ready, they may not choose me, but there's a lot of people who have. There's thousands of people who have, because I see my job as a coach trainer every day as I'm thinking about how do I add value and how do I remove the obstacles for people so that they can step into their destiny. It's a mandate on my life. It's a moral imperative that people who are here on this planet to coach, that we remove all of the obstacles and we set them on a course to achieve that dream. That's where I live every day. As coaches, that's how we have to live. It's not simply, oh, I've got a lead and I'm thinking of it as a sales kind of thing. Is that what we're doing is it's a connection strategy more than it's a sales strategy, because people have to feel connected to you, that the trust is there, and they believe that that you're a good person, and that you're there for a relationship, and that you really want to help them. All of those things have to be in alignment before somebody is ready to sign the dotted line. And sometimes that can happen really, really quickly. Sometimes it takes people a few months, because people are in different places. Awesome. You are welcome. All right, everyone. Well, we are going to head out of here. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. There's a link in the description, but do us a huge favor. If you're still sitting here and you haven't hit the like button on this live, please hit it. It doesn't cost you anything. I'm not going to hunt you down or aggravate you or annoy you or whatever. I'm just going to ask you, hit it, because all that's doing is saying, hey, YouTube, hey, Facebook, this was really helpful. And that's all I'm going to ask for you. But if you're ready for this, let's do that as well. Let's get that done. Listen, I appreciate you guys all immensely. Have a great rest of your week and take care.